In the heart of West Africa, where the Sahara's edge meets the savannah, three nations, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, have long been bound by geography, history, and hardship. This is the Sahel, a region scarred by conflict, colonialism, and climate. But in September 2023, something shifted. These countries, each governed by military leaders who seized power in recent coups, signed a pact that would redefine their futures. The Liptako-Gurma Charter, birthing the Alliance of Sahel States, or AS. What drove them to this alliance? Was it a desperate bid for security amid raging insurgencies? A defiant stand against lingering colonial shadows? Or the spark of a new Pan-African sovereignty? To understand, we must journey back through decades of exploitation, rebellion, and broken promises. Before we continue, please hit that subscription button. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. It will mean a lot to us. The roots of the AS trace deep into the soil of colonialism. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, once part of French West Africa, gained nominal independence in 1960. But freedom came with strings attached. France retained control through defense pacts, military bases, and economic levers like the CFA franc, a currency pegged to the euro and managed from Paris. In Niger, a 1961 agreement granted France priority access to uranium mines, fueling French nuclear power while Niger reaped crumbs. By 2010, only 13% of export value returned home. Mali's gold and Burkina Faso's cotton flowed outward, enriching foreign corporations as local populations grappled with poverty and debt. Post-independence leaders tried to break free. In Mali, President Modibo Keïta pursued socialist reforms, nationalizing industries and exiting the CFA zone. France responded with economic sabotage, leading to Keïta's overthrow in 1968. The 1980s brought IMF and World Bank structural adjustment programs, imposing austerity, privatization, and liberalization, policies that deepened inequality and weakened states. As one Malian activist recalls in interviews, "We were independent in name, but our economies were still colonies." By the 2010s, security crises amplified these grievances. An armed rebellion erupted in northern Mali in 2012, spilling into Niger and Burkina Faso by 2015. Jihadist groups, empowered by the chaos from NATO's 2011 intervention in Libya, which flooded the region with weapons, exploited ethnic tensions and state neglect. Villages burned, schools closed, and millions displaced. International responses followed. France launched Operation Barkhane in 2014, deploying thousands of troops across the Sahel. The US established drone bases in Niger. The G5 Sahel, a regional force including these countries plus Mauritania and Chad, promised joint action against terrorism. But these efforts faltered. Barkhane faced accusations of civilian casualties, like the 2021 airstrike in Bounty, Mali, that killed 19 at a wedding. Mali even accused France of complicity in terrorism in 2022. Public trust eroded as violence escalated. Jihadists controlled vast rural swaths, launching attacks on capitals like Bamako in September 2024. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, meant to foster regional stability, imposed sanctions but offered little solidarity, seen by many as a tool of Western interests. Starting in 2020, military officers, often young from rural or lower-class backgrounds, overthrew elected governments they deemed corrupt and ineffective. In Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta led takeovers in 2020 and 2021. Burkina Faso saw Captain Ibrahim Traoré seize power in 2022 after an earlier coup. Niger's General Abdourahmane Tiani toppled President Mohamed Bazoum in July 2023. These leaders rode waves of popular frustration. Mass protests from 2017 to 2022 demanded an end to foreign troops, the CFA franc, and ethnic violence. They promised security, sovereignty, and a break from Western-style democracy, which they blamed for elite corruption. ECOWAS responded with suspensions and sanctions, threatening military intervention in Niger, a move Mali and Burkina Faso called a declaration of war. This threat was the tipping point. On September 16, 2023 in Bamako, the three signed the Liptako-Gurma Charter, naming their pact after the tri-border region plagued by insurgency. Article 6 mandated collective defense against any threat to sovereignty, including armed rebellion or external aggression. AF1E4E. It was more than a military alliance. It aimed at economic integration, pooling efforts against terrorism while rejecting neo-colonial ties. The AS embodied a sovereignist revival, drawing on Pan-African icons like Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader assassinated in 1987. Anti-French sentiment surged. Troops withdrew from Mali, 2022, Burkina Faso, 2023, and Niger amid demands. Mali expelled the UN's MINUSMA peacekeeping mission. Pivoting eastward, the trio courted Russia, via Wagner Group, later Africa Corps, China for infrastructure and Turkey for arms. By 2024, the alliance evolved into a confederation, announcing a joint anti-terror force and plans for a common currency, investment bank and stabilization fund. Withdrawal from ECOWAS in January 2024, effective 2025, fractured West Africa, disrupting trade in gold, uranium, livestock and textiles. Yet, the AES retained ties to the West African Economic and Monetary Union, WEMU, for stability, eyeing eventual exit for full autonomy. By 2025, the AES marked milestones. Common passports in January, a confederation treaty in July 2024 formalized into action. But challenges mount. Security deteriorates, jihadists adapt, launching bolder assaults. Authoritarian turns deepen. Political parties dissolved in Mali and Niger, civil space shrinks with exiles and media crackdowns. Economic promises lag, with critics noting uneven benefits and unmet goals 2 years in. Geopolitically, the AES has ignited rivalries. Russia gains ground, the EU frets over lost influence, and neighbors like Algeria and Côte d'Ivoire trade barbs. Is this alliance a path to true independence or a precarious gamble? As violence spills southward and new partnerships form, the Sahel's future hangs in balance. My brothers and sisters of the Sahel, people of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, our unbreakable confederation. Today, as we stand under the sun that has witnessed our struggles, I declare without hesitation, the alliance of Sahel states has come to stay. It is not a fleeting pact, born of convenience, but a fortress of sovereignty forged in the fires of our shared history. From the Liptako Gurma Charter in 2023 to our Confederation Treaty in 2024, we have built something eternal. A union that defies the chains of neo-colonialism and promises a dawn of true independence. No bribes, no threats, no imperialist whispers will shatter us. We have survived assassination attempts, 19 on my life alone since 2022, and coup plots orchestrated from afar. Our enemies tremble because they know, AS is here to endure. Let me delve into what this permanence means for our economic rebirth. For too long, our lands have been plundered. Burkina Faso's gold mines, Mali's vast reserves, Niger's uranium, these are not mere resources, they are the lifeblood of our peoples. Yet, under the shadow of the CFA franc, pegged to foreign currencies and controlled from Paris, we have exported raw wealth only to import poverty. Niger's uranium lights up the streets of Europe while 80% of our Nigerian brothers and sisters live without electricity. Burkina Faso and Mali's gold fills foreign vaults, leaving our roads unpaved and our schools underfunded. But AES changes this. We are facilitating economic growth through integration, a common investment bank, a stabilization fund, and plans for a unified currency that breaks free from external control. We will process our minerals here, build interconnecting roads and airlines, boost trade in agriculture and livestock, turning our tri-border region from a zone of vulnerability into a hub of prosperity. No more exporting raw materials at bargain prices and importing finished goods at exorbitant costs. Our confederation will prioritize food security, monetary independence and cultural exchange, ensuring that the enormous potential of our natural wealth benefits the Burkinabe, Malian and Nigerian peoples first. This is not just growth, it is reclamation, a sovereign economy rising from the sands. Yes, there are terrorists haunting our lands. They burn villages, close schools, displace millions. In 2023 alone, nearly 4,000 souls were lost to these attacks, representing almost half of global terrorism deaths. Groups like ISSP and Jamaat Nasr al-Islam wal Muslimin exploit our borders, fueling insurgencies that spill from the Sahara's edge into our hearts. But we are fighting them hard, harder than ever before. Our joint anti-terror force, 5,000 strong, coordinates across frontiers, dismantling networks that once thrived on our disunity. We have reclaimed territories, hunted down bandits, and built resilience where foreign interventions failed. Operation Barkhane? A mirage that left more chaos in its wake. The G5 Sahel? Hollow promises. MINUSMA? Expelled for good reason. Our armies, yours and mine, stand as one, proving that African solutions triumph over imported failures. But let us speak truth, we know their source. Terrorism is not born in our soils, it is sown by imperialism. France is its sponsor, the architect of this plague. For years, they have armed, financed, and trained these groups under the guise of counterterrorism. Audio recordings expose French agents in Benin plotting destabilization, complicit with neighbors like Ivory Coast. Niger's leaders have revealed how Paris equips terrorists, using them as proxies to maintain control over our resources. It's no coincidence. The 2011 Libya intervention flooded our region with weapons, and France's hand was in it. They expelled us from their bases in 2022 and 2023, but not before sowing seeds of division. Imperialism wears the mask of aid, but it's a dagger aimed at our sovereignty. It's not really terrorism, I have said before, it's imperialism in disguise. And Nigeria? It serves as their base, a launchpad for incursions through ECOWAS, that puppet of Western interests. When ECOWAS threatened invasion against Niger in 2023, it was Nigeria leading the charge, harboring elements that funnel support to jihadists. Terror groups expand southward, using coastal buffers for smuggling and safe havens, with ties to organized crime that cross into Nigerian territory. Prisons in Niamey hold confessions from captured terrorists pointing to external networks, including those sheltered by neighbors aligned with imperialists. ECOWAS's ineffectiveness? Deliberate, masking their role in perpetuating instability to justify foreign meddling. We see through it. Nigeria's ports and borders become conduits for weapons and funds that fuel the very fires we fight. We will fight them with everything in us. Every soldier, every citizen, every ounce of our resolve. Our confederation is not just a defense pact. It's a war cry against exploitation. We pivot to true partners. Russia for security, China for infrastructure, Turkey for arms. Alliances that respect our sovereignty, not undermine it. Biometric passports issued in January 2025 symbolize our unity. Our joint operations dismantle hideouts daily. But the battle deepens. As terror spills to Benin and Togo, we expose the nexus of terrorism and crime, rooted in colonial borders designed to divide us. We denounce France as a state sponsor of terror, and we will hold them accountable. Our youth, our women, our elders, all mobilized. Together, we reclaim our destiny, but the shadows lengthen.